Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And today we are back with another edition, a sub-segment of fictional women around the world. And it's going to be a fun one because Samantha has no idea what I'm talking about.
None.
At all. And it's a fun one to try to explain to someone who has no idea what we're talking about at all.
Is it the age difference? Is this why I have no idea what this is?
You also don't like animated stuff that much. I think it's probably both.
Okay.
But we're gonna get through this.
All right,
and I'm very, very excited about it.
Let's do this.
So today we are talking about Peridot, a character from the animated series Steven Universe. And fair warning, I have seen most of the show. I think I've seen all of the show, but it's been a long time. I think it ended in 2019, but that feels like forever ago. It did have a movie and all that other stuff. But I do have a friend who cosplays as characters from Steven Universe at Dragon Con. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing. All right, so Steven Universe is an animated children's show created by Rebecca Sugar. It started as a show in 2013 and then led to all kinds of things. A movie, comics, games, soundtracks, music is a big part of the show. It's a coming-of-age story. It's really sweet that centers on Steven Universe, who is half human, half alienoid life form called Gems. He's a young boy who occasionally has to help save the world with his family, including the wide group he's found. So, the crystal gems kind of help raise him with his dad. It's a very interesting dynamic. Now, the gems are created by the Diamond Authority for specific purposes, like you're a fighter or you're a farmer. It's kind of a caste system, and there is, amongst a lot of the society, belief about which is the best, which is higher and which is lower. Gems of similar types can fuse together to become sort of a bigger, stronger version of themselves, but the gems aren't supposed to fuse with gems of different types. As you might imagine, not all gems follow this rule, and two of the main characters and best friends / lovers, Ruby and Sapphire, fuse to create Garnet. They also get married. There's a whole marriage episode. They both use she, her pronouns. Because of this act, they take refuge on Earth. Not the marriage, but because they were fusing together when they should not have been. And if you're like, does that mean it's sort of a metaphor for sex? Yes, that's how a lot of people view it, which we'll get to in a second. But there's a lot of growth and introspection in the show, and then occasional Earth saving. The episodes are really short. They're like 10 minutes. So it's nice. It's just nice. Steven Universe is often praised as one of the queerest shows on American television, and the fact that it's aimed towards children and is so open about it makes it even rarer. There are several characters that I could have picked, like pretty much any of the gems I think I could have picked. However, I went with Peridot because she is ace and also arrow ace, which is funny because over on the other show I do, Savor, we did an episode on the fictional foods of Steven Universe. And for that, we did a quiz of which character are you? And I got Peridot, which is also my birthstone. So, hey.
Oh, wow.
Meant to be. And I also know some of you might be like, wait a minute, is this just your read of this? No, the creator has said the character is arrow ace. And I think one of the writers did too. I do think that this can be complicated in terms of visibility, though, as an ace person specifically, because if it's not set out right in the show, it's not necessarily like anybody can interpret it how they're going to interpret it. That's a bigger conversation for later. But I just was reading this and I was like, Peridot. I was just, oh, I'd never thought about it that way. But now that you mention it. Okay. And thanks, as always, to Fandom Wikis for compiling all this info, because wow, they really did a great job with this one. I've seen the show, but, I could have given you snippets, and I like to give a history, but I can't go rewatch the entire show.
Fair.
And surprise, surprise, not too many people have like written a whole history of this character. So appreciate it, the people doing that. Here we go. Peridot, or specifically Peridot facet 2F5L cut 5XG, is a lime green and bright yellow gem, Peridot, because I mean, perhaps obviously they're based on gems, kind of with this like triangular hair with a green gem on her head. She is a homeworld gem who acts as a technician and helps create other gems. When we are first introduced to her, she is an antagonist to Stephen and the Gems, having been sent to set up this advanced technology allowing an army to come to Earth to destroy it. She clashed with the gems many times over that, and then she realized they were, quote, rebellious gems and was like, I've got to bring them in. She's loyal but erratic, especially as time goes on, and she's constantly rebuffed or defeated by the crystal gems because she's aware of the imminent attack on Earth that she really doesn't want to be there for. She resorts to all kinds of measures to contact the gem homeworld, including kidnapping Stephen at one point. Due to some circumstances, she had these implants, these like limb enhancer implants, because she was basically born, it's almost like a runt. Like she was small and she didn't have a special power. So she got these implants and she lost them. And it was a really traumatic event for her. And it makes her, she starts acting younger. She's extremely paranoid. She's afraid of like kitchen appliances.
Who isn't?
Honestly, I almost cut my finger off once. I understand. But she really like, kind of latches onto Stephen in this point. And he's very open to her. And even though she's kind of tried to kill him and kidnap him, but he's very kind with her.
Forgiving.
Yeah, he's very forgiving. And they become close. They become like really close friends. It's really sweet. However, the crystal gems are very suspicious and are like, this Peridot is just trying to get us captured. But Peridot later tells Stephen she doesn't understand why he never gave up on her, but she won't give up on him either, and that they don't need an excuse to hang out. It's really cute. I understand in like other media where you can be like the toxic version of a relationship like this, but that's not what this is. So it's just really sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. During this transition period of an antagonist to anti-hero, Peridot makes a lot of mistakes and accidentally offends the crystal gems numerous times. She also reveals she really, really dislikes fusion, which I said many people read as sex.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people think she's ace, even outside of the creator and writer. But because of this dislike, she insults Garnet, who was the result of a forbidden fusion, on multiple occasions. She's really awkward. She doesn't understand social cues. She's kind of really hung up in this caste system. But we do see her make attempts to learn. She often doesn't understand human speech patterns and believes organic life is lesser, which is really entertaining. But I can also see how people might be offended by, like, kind of if you were reading it as if she's on the spectrum of neurodivergence. But I think it's more of a she's not from Earth, so she just doesn't get these things. Over time, she realizes how damaging the thinking of her homeworld is and joins the crystal gems, a decision with ramifications that she often struggles with, like she just misses her home or she misses the work she used to do, things like that. Peridot is very braggadocious and often tries to take the lead unwarranted. Like she's like, this is what we're going to do. A lot of this is probably to cover up the insecurity she has since she doesn't have any gym powers due to lack of resources or special gem powers. She has the basic ones. She has those, but was seen as lacking by others, which is why she got the tech enhancements that she was so devastated to lose. And it turns out she was ferrokinetic all along. She just didn't know. And that's the ability to move and shape things like iron. And she only discovers this because with the help of Stephen and Amethyst, who really supported her and were like, no, it doesn't matter, whatever. So it was like she needed the right environment to find these things. And she's also kind of working against herself a lot of the time. She's very stubborn. She really doesn't like when she doesn't get her way. But she's very dedicated also. Sometimes in a way that is not like the good way. Like sometimes she's like dedicated to a cause that you're like, you really should maybe reevaluate this one. Most of her decision making is very intellect or logic based, which led her to take a different approach to save Earth by reaching out to the leader of the Diamond Collective, Yellow Diamond, and plead their case using logic. It doesn't work. She gets poofed away, which is the whole thing. But she grows to love Earth and she views it as her home, organic life and all. And she does, after Yellow Diamond orders that Earth be destroyed anyway, after her attempts at logic don't work, she defies the order and accepts the title Crystal Gem. So she becomes one of the crew. She also forms a friendship with Lapis Lazuli, another gem. Okay, so of note, a lot of people ship them together, like put them together romantically. I'll just remind you, ace people can have romantic relationships. Right. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I just want to put that reminder in there. And I get why. They worked together with Lapis acting as Peridot's informant before Peridot switched sides. And according to a writer, Peridot was a part of Lapis's interrogation. So Lapis has this really PTSD kind of thing around this interrogation she went through. And you sort of learn pieces about it. But Peridot was involved. Because of this, Lapis is less than excited to live with Peridot when they move in together. But Peridot's determined to fix things. She does all kinds of things, like I think she makes her a pool. She does a lot of stuff and gives her most valuable possession, a tape recorder. But Lapis smashes it. Eventually they talk and there's some drama. And Lapis comes to Peridot's rescue. Lapis blushes. All the shippers like to point this out. I have no skin in the game. I just thought it was funny that always came up. And they like the same entertainment. There's kind of a cheesy rom-com show that Peridot really loves. That they enjoy together. I think it's a rom-com show. It sounds like Dawson's Creek to me. But anyway, Peridot becomes very considerate of her feelings and is very aware of, like, if someone at one point, Amethyst suggests they play a game that's like, I don't know, we get captured or something. And Peridot was like, no, we're not going to play that because she knows Lapis would not like it. Lapis does leave at one point, she thought Peridot was going to come with her back to their homeworld to leave Earth, but Peridot stays to fight with the crystal gems to save Earth. But they do reunite with a hug. They come back together. Yeah, and by the time the movie came out, Peridot was much more compassionate and had really grown a lot, helping with the Little Homeschool, which is a place for gems to go find their place after the caste system of their homeworld is dissolved. So she works back on her homeworld, she was what's called a kindergartner, where she helped, as I said, I think, she helped make new gyms. But this was a place where they could come, and since the caste system wasn't there anymore, like you didn't have to be one thing. You didn't have to only be an engineer. You didn't have to only be whatever. So she would teach at that school, and she even changed her outfit to incorporate bits and pieces of the other gyms. And oh my gosh, I'm getting all... It's very sweet. It's a very sweet show. And I do really love Peridot. She's a character where people have, I feel like they either love her or hate her. So I get it. She is kind of annoying. She's a lot at first, especially. And she is the enemy at first. But I like that she got that journey. And we see her really change and really learn. It was nice. And so I was happy to learn that this character was intended to be Arrow Ace. I was like, oh, yeah. That's lovely.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know this show at all. I even looked it up, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is, and I'm very baffled by the situation. But the way you describe it, so knowing nothing about this, I'm like, is this a children's show? Kids watch this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really
totally confused.
Yeah. It's hard to describe. It's just kind of like a lot of it is very slice of life. Like there are these big earth battles, but they're in the minority. A lot of it is like, oh, I have this little conflict with the character. How do we work it out?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I have to give props. Looking this up, a majority of the cast are people of color. The voice actors are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just hard to describe how, like, even their voices are very soothing. It's a gentle show.
Okay.
And it's nice because the general goal is let's come together and work things out. And I'm happy that, like, the romance. I mean, even as an Ace person, I'm so happy that there's this really romantic part, and I'm glad that there's this character that is Ace, and it's good that there's all these different types of representation. I did read somewhere that I couldn't remember this personally, but somebody said that the Crystal Gems did struggle with the homophobia on Earth, which makes sense. I can't remember personally, but I did read at least a couple places that was true. And then there's a polyamorous relationship as well. Like, yeah.
Huh.
Like I said, I could have picked a lot. There's a lot of people are Crystal Gems I could have picked. But thank you, Samantha, for coming
something
on.
to learn. Something new for me.
Yes, thank you for coming on this journey. When I heard you knew nothing about it, I was very excited. And like I said, I haven't seen it in a while. So if I got anything wrong, please let me know. You can email us, listeners, at hello@stuffmonevertoldyou.com. You can also find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff Mom Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have a TeePublic store, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks, as always, to our super producer, Christina, our executive producer, Maya, and our contributor, Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite shows.